want answers. I want the truth.
Thanks, Rick. Go ahead, Lou.
Oh man, thank you so much. Okay, God, feels like forever. Thanks for hosting a fun space. I have one question that doesn't have anything really to do with this. I'm just curious about you in this time period of the 1980s, and then I have one very serious UFO question, if that's okay. The first is I've heard stories about, and God, I wish I was there. I've heard stories about John Lear, Bob Lazar, George Knapp, and you partying your asses off. Is there any fun stories that you could tell us about you guys hanging out and maybe some trouble you got into? Because when I see you, Rick, I think to myself, fuck, I bet that guy was insanely fun to hang out with when he was in his prime. So do you have any fun stories like that?
Well, I never partied with Lazar. I met him once in person at a UFO convention, so that's.
What about Knapp and Lear?
Well, I'll just say that we went out a few times. I'll just leave it at
that. Yes. Oh, you 1980s. Oh my God. Okay, so you guys were probably doing a little bit of the Bolivian snow round, huh?
I can't feel my face. I mean, I can touch it, but I can't feel it inside.
I don't answer that, Rick. You don't have to. I get it. But man, fuck, dude. I would love to one day just talk about those parties. The very other real question I had, ever since you've mentioned these races of aliens, I looked into a couple of them, and I honestly got some hitbacks on I think it was the Ebens or one of those that had that there were some crash sites in Alaska. Have you heard anything like that, or do you know anything about that?
Yeah, there were. There were crash sites in Alaska for a couple of those species. Two different species, two different crash sites, and two different time periods.
Wow, I hate to break this to you, man. I completely made that up.
Well, I tell you, one was at Nome in 1971 at Tin City Air Force Station.
Bruh.
And the other one was, I have it right here, and the other one was found in the field 2 miles inside the Canadian border, east of Eielson Air Force Base. The craft that crashed at that location was 1966 and had been there probably for a number of years. They found it during the thawing. So I don't know if you're pulling my leg or you're just lying, but
I because the reason why I did that, Rick, I don't want to be big.
Are you an experiencer?
I am. Yeah, actually I am. I did experience some when I was 13. But what I've found since I've been researching this a lot is people will tell you anything they want you to hear and believe. And so when I hear the stories about, all of this classification, but then you turn around and you start talking about races and stuff like that and how they're 100% real, but there's no paperwork that proves any of this stuff. And man, again, if I could have a time machine and I could go back to 1986 and party with you guys, I think I'd have a really great time. But it just, when you cite Gaia as some kind, they're not a news organization. They don't do heavy fact checking there. That's not a place of an institution of, where people go to for facts and truth. It's an entertainment channel.
That was is that it? Guy has watched.
Okay. One more question.
Guy has watched by about 1 million people. Okay, around the world. Okay, so
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
I
just
would
one
say
last
that it was
question.
more,
You were
and they
transferred to
do their
Germany in 1984. Can you tell
they
us
do
why?
a lot of investigations on the people they bring in there, and they learned that from the Corey Good, and I came in after Corey Good, so they do it. So let's go to the next question. You've already asked your 4 questions, I guess.
Thank you so much.
Rick, I have some really great military buddies that are also experiencers, and I think honestly one of the best things that you could do, and if you are interested in this, I would love to set it up, where we do an open space like this or an interview with these other military guys, one of them being Air Force, former Air Force, and try and pick at you as much as we can so we can get as much FOIA-able things to verify some of the things you're saying, because I think that's the biggest thing is people want verification. I think at least for me in this field, I'm kind of done with trust me bro. Like I don't want to do any more trust me bros in this conversation. And the thing with, I don't want to say the thing with you, Rick, because I don't want to offend you, but it's a lot of trust me, bro. This is real. And all of the documents that are publicly out there, unfortunately, aren't any smoking guns. And that's what the community needs is a smoking gun. So would you be down to just have some real military guys that are also incredibly good at FOIAing things to
As you're a Twitter handler, Rick, I would say that you'll need to consult with me first on that one.
Okay.
I mean,
I've done this before.
why is
I've
the
done this.
truth? The truth shouldn't be afraid of these questions, right?
No. But we did this a
The,
long
the, the
time ago.
trolls trying to get at the truth would be a problem. We want to avoid trolls. That's what we're trying to do here.
We did this a long time ago, about a year and a half ago. We did this in
With
a
who?
podcast where I listed and I got the stuff from Charlie, the guy I mentioned earlier. I think he gave me, I don't know how many websites. Just go to those websites, and we listed those websites, and they were
Right.
out
No,
there.
I'm
Went to
aware of
those
the websites, but like again, like out of all of the websites, out of all of that stuff, there's been nothing yet that has come out as a smoking gun, and that's kind of what we're looking for. So clearly, the stuff that you went over a year ago hasn't been good enough to move the needle, right? So I think we just need to start over and try again. And Clint, like I think I've had at least a few spaces here in the last couple of weeks with you where I think you know where I'm coming from, and we're not here to troll Rick. And just one last question: where'd you get Ricky Ticky from? Is there a story behind that?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that that's your opinion that there's nothing out there, but there's many other people out there that would say there's a conglomerate of information out there
Okay,
that
so
doesn't necessarily
what's the
talk about
one
me.
best thing? What's the one
No,
piece?
not necessarily talk about me or what I said, but what other people, Grush and Lue and other people have said. There's tons of information out there, and I'm not going to do your research for you.
No,
There's
I
other
know,
people
I
that are
know,
better
but the thing
than
is,
I
Rick,
am
is
and other people.
I know, Rick, but I've had Elizondo on my show 7 times, and I don't know if you know my backstory, but he manipulated the fuck out of me. He used the fuck out of me, Rick. And so, like, again, I'm not trying to cast doubt. I'm trying to get to the core of this. And unfortunately, none of that data is a smoking gun. And if it is, can you point me to the best piece of evidence that 100% confirms this that's out there right now in the public domain?
Somebody shut him off. I can't hear him.
He wanted to
No,
know if there was,
yeah.
he
Well,
wanted to
okay,
know.
so I'll say it again. Can you hear me, Rick?
No, yeah. Just make it brief, though, Lou,
No,
please.
Well,
Rick, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
okay.
I
Yeah, we
was
hear
I
you.
was telling you just quickly as I can. I know time's valuable. Um, I had Lue Elizondo on my show 7 times, including his father. He manipulated and used me like really badly. He blackmailed me for an apology. And so the reason why I'm asking these questions is because, you know, I want the truth just as badly as anyone. And so the question is like, what is the best piece of evidence that you can point to that is in the public domain that is the smoking gun that what you're saying is true?
Well, first of all, Lou's a counterintelligence officer. Remember that, and he's pretty good at it. I was
Right, I
probably
know,
like
but
that
like
in the old days.
no, I get it, but like
Okay. I'm going to tell you. Okay. All right. We heard enough. Go out and buy the Blue Planet Project trilogy. And it's not me saying this, but there are about
is that a movie?
no, it's a book.
Can you
Okay.
spell the last word? Project
The
what?
Blue Planet Project trilogy. Trilogy. It's
Thank you.
there's 3 books in one. One's a Blue Planet Project Alien Life Forms. The second one, Blue Planet Project Lost Chapters, and the next one is Blue Planet Project Conspiracy. This thing was a banned. It was written by Gil Carlson. It was banned. He was trying to publish it for several years, and it was banned, but it got published, and it contains literally, and I'm not exaggerating, and it's not me saying, but hundreds of pages of information that would be normally classified. Just read that. All right, move on.
Okay, Luke, go ahead.
Thank you. And again, I appreciate all the questions. I mean, I know my questions are seemed as tough or whatever, but I can assure you I'm not a fucking counterintelligence agent or anything like that. I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha, although I did get you in a gotcha. The one thing that stuck out to me that you said, Rick, when I explained my relationship with Lue Elizondo, and by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I have to preface this by saying that I organized hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into the largest UAP grass movements effort ever organized for Lue Elizondo. When I mentioned that, you said, well, yeah, he's a counterintelligence agent. So my question to you is that my fault that I got taken advantage of, manipulated, and blackmailed by Lue Elizondo? And why is that okay? And if so, why is that okay? And if it's not okay, why should we trust Lue Elizondo when he uses people in the community like that?
Well, no, I'm sorry if you interpreted it that way. I mean, I was a joke that you said that he did that to you, and I thought, well, he's a counterintelligence officer. That's
Okay,
all.
all
I
right.
don't mean anything.
Okay, I appreciate that. But
It was just a joke. I
okay,
didn't mean it.
no, that's
But
I think I
his question,
understand it. If you
hold on,
guys will
time
let
out.
me just hold
That
on,
was a
Eric, let
weak
me say
All right.
cop out.
something here. I think that it's kind of like that analogy. If you're gonna pet the bulldog, you should be aware the bulldog could bite. So I believe that there's a little bit of that as well,
Yeah,
right? We
exactly.
have a
Okay.
responsibility as well to know who we're talking with. So I'm just saying.
right.
Okay, but let me help out. Let me help out Lou, because I actually I watched Lou from the beginning and I saw the whole thing unwind. And so there's a little piece of my heart that goes out to that guy. So he has a fair question, Rick. I mean, I understand that you want to be careful what you say about anybody, but he had an experience. Lou was all in on disclosure. He was trying to help the process. He had a tremendous roundtable of people. I mean, that was historic in some ways. And then he feels, and I don't know the whole story, he feels that Lou let him down on many levels. If you were advising Lou or somebody that would in the future, forget Lue Elizondo, if somebody were to come along in the future, how would you advise that they go about making decisions if they want to involve themselves with
Clint,
somebody?
with all due respect, thank you for that. I appreciate it, but I don't want to hear about people that are non-existent in the community. I'd like to know Rick's opinion about those tactics used against American citizens who are doing nothing but trying to help. Like,
Well,
why should we trust?
But
Why
Val
should
was
we
like
trust Lue
talking like
Elizondo?
hypocrisy 101 though. He wasn't talking about Americans. He was like just being hypocritical
Okay,
and
hold on. You can't interrupt. Sir, whoever that is, Lou asked Rick a question. It's Rick's the host. Rick's going to answer the question.
yeah, you know, Lou, I can't answer that question. I don't know what Lou's intentions were to do what he did to you. If he did, in fact, that I would feel as bad as you are that you do about what Lou did to you. I mean, so I don't know. You'd have to ask Lou about that. But
Well, unfortunately, he won't return any of my calls or texts. But I'm just, I'm just trying to. That's why I ask you the questions that I ask you, because I'm really trying to look out for the community of people and all of these researchers here that are trying to research all this stuff. That's why I want better facts, better. I want to set a higher bar, Rick, and I want to.
what do you think
I
is
want
the
to make people
reason,
aware of
Lou?
these issues.
What do you think is the
Please don't talk over people. People have had their hands on a very long time. Just wait your turn, Mr. Thing, please. Thank you.
Okay, Lou Angeles, wrap up your point. I appreciate your point, and then we're going to move over to another hand.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering why we don't call people out, especially when their pinned tweet is, I'll never tell a lie, I'll always tell the truth, I'll always, I'll never support any sort of manipulation within this community, and then we get manipulated, and it's like, that's why I'm trying to set a higher bar, and that's why I would love for you to come talk to me and come talk to these veterans that want answers just as bad as everyone, but I just don't want to bring in um, pre-existing belief systems and ask you questions based off of our beliefs, just so you can just confirm these belief systems. I want to push back in the most respectful way possible, but how do we do that, Rick, without insulting you?
okay, that was your question. Okay, I just got one. And let me. This is a good question too that I just got.
Thank you very much, Mario. I think that was very.
Thanks, Mario.
But we still got Lou reviews. We got to give Lou reviews the last shot, if that's okay, Rick. One more shot from Lou reviews.
I'll keep it real quick. I only have a suggestion for everyone in this room listening, and that is simply quit treating Rick Doty with kid gloves. He's a big boy. He can answer questions on his own. And don't be afraid to ask Rick hard questions. And when he gives you answers where he gets super frustrated, I think that speaks volumes.
Lou,
Clint,
let me chime in real quick. I
I
don't
will.
want
I'm
mean to
about to
cut
get
you
out of
off,
here,
but
Nicole.
me
I'm
and
about
you
to
are
get out of here,
having a
Nicole.
little like word share back and forth though.
Hold on. Nicole has the floor now,
No,
Lou.
she doesn't. I
I've given
wasn't
you
done.
every. All
I was about to say
right.
I'm
Well,
about to get
listen,
out of here.
Vinny, take control, Vinny.
No, I want Lou to finish and then I want a
Thank
rebuttal.
you. Thank you. I'm about to get out of here. Clint, if you want to have a discussion about the answers that we got today later in a different space, not today obviously, but sometime later down the road, I would love to go over the answers that we got today from Rick Doty. And Nicole, love you to death, but there's
I know,
nothing in
we'll
your
hash
there's
it out
no
too. Like it
there's
all goes
not
on the
wait, hold on,
timeline.
let me finish, girl. There's nothing in your book that is going to reveal anything that is going to get us closer to any sort of truth. Have a great weekend, guys.
Well, Lou, don't leave yet. Let me ask you,
Okay, I'll listen.
I mean, I know maybe you and I have different definitions of what a tough question is, but I mean, the last question I asked Rick, that took like 7 years for that to even be able to unfold. And then so like the question you asked tonight is like who he thinks is most ridiculous in ufology. So I
No,
mean, I
Nicole.
just think
No,
we have a
Nicole. You
difference of
missed
what a
Nicole.
tough question is.
Nicole. You missed
And
the
I know
first
you
part of
haven't
this.
read Grant's books. I know you haven't read Grant's books. So the ones that I am continuing, book 2 and book 3, are a continuation of 3 books that Grant's already written before.
Right.
And to my knowledge, he has never written one that says, this is Rick Doty. So, of course, the books to come aren't just about Rick. So there's more to this than just Rick. And
Okay, yeah, and in
so
those,
I don't ask him kit glove questions. I think he knows that. And I
okay,
think that's why we have a good repertoire.
I
Okay, Lou, you're going to get dropped, Lou. I
okay,
just want you to know, so don't
I
trip on
know,
it, okay?
I
We're
know.
Well,
just
That's the
cool.
way it always goes
And
here.
Lou, and
No, it is
I love
because,
Lou
Lou, you
too.
are the only guy. Lou is the smartest guy in the room, and that's where you kind of blow your whole cover, Lou, is you are not the
Well,
smartest guy in the room, but
hey
you
Okay,
want
guys,
everyone
so
to
just
think
how I
that.
stick up for Rick, I stick up for Lou Jimenez too, though. It's like he and I are cool. We talk about a lot of
But he
things
is
and
not the
get
smartest
heated.
guy in the
So
I'm
room.
not trying.
no,
I'm not trying to be the
let
smartest
me
guy in the room.
say
love you,
something.
Lou.
Lou, it's my impression that you are a disinformation person that's planted in these rooms. You disinform. You don't. You're not approaching anything with an open mind. All you want to do is argue and distort facts and call people liars. So that's my impression of you. That you are in fact a disinformation person in this room.
Okay,
I'll
well,
stick up for Lou though
Nicole,
now.
hold on a second, Nicole. I'd like to address that. I would love for anyone here. Here's my full name, Luis Victor Jimenez. Anyone could go find out right now if I'm a disinformation agent, like a claim that you just fucking made right now. So now you've just weaponized all the people in this room to come after me. Well, now you guys have my full name. So go for it and find out what department within the government I work for. Because Ricky Ticky just put a fucking label on me like that.
Hey, this is
Well, you put a label on me, so I can put one on you. Okay, let's go. Who
Yeah,
was the last one?
let's go ahead and put Lou
Last
in
can
in,
I
question.
in,
I
in the
just
timeout
I'll
box.
end
You want answers. I want the truth.